times per year, as the Earth travels along its orbit around the Sun, it comes to a crossing. These are known as equinoxes and solstices. Many cultures around the world and across time have celebrated these events by honoring the religious and cultural significance of the Sun. Equinoxes occur around September 23rd and March 21st and refer to a 24-hour cycle where there is an equal distribution of hours between day and night. So, 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. Solstices occur around June 21st and December 21st and refer to either the shortest day of the year, which occurs in your winter, or the longest day of the year, which occurs in your summer. Today, we're going to talk more about the summer solstice. For those in the northern hemisphere, that's the June solstice. Once per year, the sun brightens our sky for more hours than any other day of the year, also leaving us with the shortest night of the year. The summer solstice doesn't rely on an exact calendar date. It really just depends on when the sun achieves its northernmost point from the equator. This means that the June solstice occurs on either June 20th, June 21st, or June 22nd. For those in the southern hemisphere, it is split, and summer solstice occurs around December 21st or 22nd, when the sun is at its southernmost point from the equator. The same is true, by the way, for the winter solstice, which occurs in the northern hemisphere around December 21st or 22nd, and in the southern hemisphere around June 20th through the 22nd. So, when it's the longest day of the year in the southern hemisphere, it's the shortest day of the year in the northern hemisphere, and vice versa. See how that works? So what exactly does a summer solstice mean for those living in the northern hemisphere? The June solstice is the day that the sun is traveling along its highest and longest path through the sky, causing that day to have the most daylight. When this event occurs in the northern hemisphere, the North Pole is tilted towards the sun at 23.4 degrees. Because the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, sunlight falls at a steeper angle against Earth's surface, and that's what causes those super hot temperatures that cause both iced drinks and us to sweat. Due to this tilt, the further north you live in latitude, the more hours of daylight you will receive on the summer solstice. Anchorage, Alaska, for example, can see up to 20 hours of daylight during the summer solstice. Boston, Massachusetts may see more than 15 hours and 20 minutes of sunlight, and even down in Miami, Florida, they'll see roughly 13 hours and 45 minutes of daylight during the summer solstice. That's a lot more than 12 hours. Once the June solstice is over, the sun begins to follow a lower and lower path in the sky, leading up to the fall equinox, when we will see roughly 12 hours of light and 12 hours of night. Then it's on to the northern hemisphere's winter solstice, where we will see markedly less than 12 hours of daylight. Fairbanks, Alaska, for example, will see about 3 hours and 41 minutes of daylight on the winter solstice. That's a pretty huge difference. So to wrap up and put a bow on it, let's go back to the very beginning. No matter where you are, your summer solstice is the longest day of the year. If you live in the northern hemisphere, your summer solstice represents the day when the sun is traveling at its highest point in latitude for the entire year, leaving you with many hours of daylight and a very hot day. If you live in the southern hemisphere, your summer solstice represents the day when the sun is traveling at its lowest point in latitude for the entire year, leaving you with the hot temperatures and all the melting ice pops.